Hello, this is Compound Interest Stock Guy, and today we're going to be talking about why average investors who invest with the banks aren't as wealthy as they should be. So stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It helps my channel grow. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this content and you find it valuable. So I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell an investment because I talk about it here. Buy or sell after you did your research, your due diligence, and you like the investment you're pursuing. So basically, I was just on the phone with my mom and we were chatting about her BMO investor, financial investor advisor was telling her that you shouldn't buy in May and then you should buy in October. And I was just thinking to myself, I've listened to the guy before from my mom's point of view, and I just completely lost respect for this guy. Because I mean, yeah, there's some things about, okay, you sell in May and then you go away. But if you would have bought last October, you would have bought right here, like right here. It went down way further, down to December. You would have lost 20% on that low, and you're like 20 to 30% on that low, and he's saying to buy it in October. It just doesn't make any sense. I can understand buying back in August and September, but usually October is just too late. I don't know. I just learning that I have also watched videos saying that financial advisors from your bank, they will never tell you to go into cash. Yet in 2018, the best asset was cash. Cash did way better than 99% of stocks in the market. So yeah, it's just pretty funny that he's saying that, and he also says that yeah, just hold it for the long term, and it goes through its ebbs and cycles, and everything will be okay. But why? That's losing a lot of people's money. It's not losing, but people could be making a lot more money on their investments if they had a scale in, scale out approach. So if we're just looking at 2018, I mean 2007, if you would have sold at around 1500, even 1400, because this is a death cross where the 50-day moving average goes below the 200-day moving average, that's a sign that it's going to go down. So if someone who's a financial investor, he's got his degree from Harvard or, the University of wherever, and he's got his 5 years of school, and he's telling you that advice, it just makes me shake my head, because I have 0 years of experience getting at school. I have years of experience in the market. I have over 3 years of experience. I've been investing since 2016, in early 2016, and I also invested previously back to these two stocks when about in 2002 to about 2006. And I didn't check the markets and I didn't do very good, but I'm not going to get into that. But I'm talking about this. We're talking about the fact that the bank's investor advisor is telling you that keep the money in all the time. Well, if you look at 1400 and then you would have bought back around 1000, that's 40%. Now, if you wait for it to go all the way back to where it was, if the person, I always tell my mom that the next time there's a death cross, that she should sell 25 to 40% of her money. And she said, I don't want to do that because it's too complicated. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But I just think it's funny that the investment banks tell you to never go into cash. Yet, if they sold it at at that time, and then it goes back up. You're timesing 40% by 40% interest, and you're doubling your money with all that money. So if someone had say $400,000 and they put $100,000 in, take it out right now, right there, and then they buy it back around here, and then they wait for it to go here, well, then they essentially doubled that money that they took out, the $100,000, and then they turned it into another $100,000. Now, the person that's, it's just going to keep going up and it goes through its ebbs and cycles, has to deal with 2007 all the way to 2011 for it to go back to, and it still hadn't, it pretty much back to 2013 for it to get back. That's 5 years. And that person could have, if they took 25 to 40% out with that money, they could have doubled their money because seeing the death cross hitting there. Now, I didn't understand this stuff until recently, and it's valuable information because absolutely it's vital information to know, because if I knew that there was this death cross and I saw it, I would have sold out. Right here is this death cross. I would have sold out about 25 to 50% of my positions back then, and then wait for it to bottom down to maybe 24 and let it recover, and then buy it back here. And then with that, if I sold it at the 2800 mark, 2750 let's say, and then I bought back at 2450, that's 12%, and then you times it by 12%, that's 26%. So if I was to do it there, now I sold it from 29 down to, and I bought it at the very bottom, that's 25% pretty much, or 20%, and then you times it again back to here, and that's, I don't know, like 50%, 44%, okay? So if I would have took out 50% of my money, and on different stocks, they get punished even harder. So this is just talking about the S&P 500 for people who are in their RSPs and they got just a very safe investment portfolio. They could have gained anywhere from 25 to 40% on the money they took out of the market as soon as they saw this death cross. So, this is the thing why people don't have as much money in their portfolio and in their wealth, because investment advisors are jokes and they just want to have money into their bank's portfolio because they get commissions off that, and then it's money for them. It's a crazy world we live in, but I just don't like the fact that these banks make it seem like, you got to follow their script, and that isn't the way that people build their wealth. If they sold and then they go into cash and then they buy back around here and then they buy it back here, so many times throughout your life, if they were able to do that, they would have so much more money. And it's just not taught because they're just like, I'll keep holding it. Yeah, I'll keep holding it. And it's just bad. Anyways, that's pretty much my video. I'm going to summarize what is going on is you have to be your own investor advisor. Even if you rely on the banks and you have an RSPs, you can still, you are the attorney of that money. You can tell the bank, I want to sell 25% of that position. I want it to go into cash, so do that. But I don't know how it works if you sell that position and it goes into cash, if that affects the taxes. So maybe that is the reason why you can't really do that. That's a hard question. But if you're not investing into RSPs, then, and you just have a portfolio that's similar to this, you have to sell at the very top and buy back. That's how you create your wealth. Anyways, until next time, peace.